Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? How is the family out there? We will do a quick roll call and then we'll give it a couple of minutes, let everybody pile in here. We've got Mike High, Pistol Pete, Lynn Holt. See, y'all are talking about good old California, where they want everybody to have an electric car. However, they don't have enough electricity. So that's always a good thing. But let's see here. Yeah, the 17 round mags, who knows, man? If you think about it for the P320 or P322, they were supposed to have 25 round mags. Who the hell knows where they are? Hadn't seen them, heard about them, looked for them for a while, and then I just got tired of looking. Um, so who knows? And I'm sure they're going to try to, sell a lot of those guns. So the mags, all of that should go to those first because I know a lot of people are waiting on the mags and the frame where they could put their XL slide on it and kind of make their own, you know, 365 kind of Frankenstein thing. So who knows? They're probably going to delay it for a while so they can sell more guns because they're going to make more money selling guns than they are accessories. So we know that. However, the people that buy those guns would definitely want more mags. I don't like one or two mags. So, hello, Dennis Buckner. How are you? Um, Pistol Pete, I've been kind of chilling a little bit, getting everything ready, resume, all that good stuff. So probably this coming Monday, I'll get locked in really, really hard and go at it. I haven't even reached out to any of my contacts or anything yet. I've just, like I said, I haven't had a vacation this whole entire year. So just kind of, you know, taking a little easy, um, having a little fun, doing a bunch of honeydew stuff, catching up around the house. Hello, Doobie. How are you? Milkman, Richard Jenkins, Ranger 10. Let's see here. Richard Jenkins asking, do you guys carry an extra mag? I do. I would probably say, I'm going to be very honest, I would probably only say about 25 to 30% of the time that I carry. Now, I always have an extra mag in the truck in case something popped off there. And it's definitely accessible. I've got it to where it's a quick grab. However, on my person, I don't a lot of times. And as we all know, the first thing on a gun to fail could be the mag. So, but I don't, like every single day, things like that. Where when I knew that I was going into some pretty shady areas, I always did, no matter what. Hello, Ranger 10, CZ Shadow 2. Hello, Gun Nation. Just bought my second AR-15 style gun. It's a Daniel Defense DMM 4V7. My first was a Belgian-made FNC. Congratulations, man. Daniel Defense does make nice rifles. Hello, Bagger Bro. Big J, do the manufacturers give gun tubers more refined guns for testing? Everybody was drooling over the Prodigy and had no issues. Now that it's in the public hands, a ton of issues. I don't know because those guns are basically allocated to gun reviewers. So I don't know if they do like a secondary QC check just to make sure everything's good to go. And they're actually, if you've looked at those, they're putting them in these specialty boxes where they get a Surefire X300, which is not a cheap light. They get like a Ronin belt and stuff, and it's all in a big box. So they could go through and cherry pick some guns just to make sure everything's perfect. Maybe an extra QC check. That is a possibility. Um, and just so y'all know, and I was going to bring it up today, and I will show it. I actually played with the Prodigy today. So I will try to show you that right there. So that is my hand. I was at Texas Gun Experience. That's the 425 or the 4 1/4 one or whatever you want to call it. So I actually put my hands on it, played with it today, cycled it quite a bit, dry fired it, checked out the mags in detail. So I kind of went through it, and I'm going to give you my opinions right off the bat. We'll get into it in just a second, so remind me of that. Yeah, reload wrap. I've seen those, and I know a lot of people use them. I don't know if they make 2011 mags or 2011 holders, or if they'll open that far. They might. I just haven't checked into it. And I do have some 2011 spare mag holders. I have one that goes sideways, and then I have one that goes up and down. But 2011 mag holders are pretty difficult. They have to be specific, usually specific, if they're Kydex molded for a 2011. And I do have another one. It's actually in a box from a holster that I got, so I might start using it. Let's see here. Hello, Mandy Talks. How are you? Hey, what's up, Lamarcus? How are you, man? Yeah, I mean, I carry HST also, and like I said, the first thing to fail usually in a carry gun is a mag. So it's definitely a good idea to carry a backup mag. Just sometimes I don't. So I don't fib. I tell you all the truth. Also, if anybody's interested, Brownells has the SRO 5 MOA, and only the 5 MOA is on sale for $4.99. So that's a pretty decent deal right now. So if anybody needs a 5 MOA SRO or wants one, Brownells does have them on sale for $4.99. But again, it is the 5 MOA only. It's not the 325 or the 1 MOA. They have those in stock, but they're not on sale. They're full price. And I thought that was kind of weird because supposedly everybody loves big MOA dots. So I personally don't, but I know, a lot of people say they like them. Yeah, I'm big into 124 HST, also Ranger, non plus P. I don't carry plus P. I don't need it. But I carry 124. I know some people carry 147, but I kind of like the middle of the road, not too fast, because I've shot a lot of 115s, and we shot those frozen pig heads, and a lot of them didn't open up because it's so much faster. And then 147, we didn't get as much penetration, so to say, in a pig head. So let's see here. Cleaning guns during chat at the range day. Shot in my M18 CZ Scorpion, CMMG MK10, and my HM Defense 223. About 1,000 rounds together today. Man, it was fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. Like I said, I went up Texas Gun Experience, and what was funny is I was like, do I want to shoot today? And I was just like, no. That's like one of the very few times I just wanted to go up there and look around and talk to everybody and just kind of relax. Didn't really want to do any shooting today. Let's see here. But on the Springfield Prodigy, this is my take from a sample of one that they had sitting there. Again, it was the medium, it wasn't the 5-inch slide, it was the other one. Dropped the mag, racked it. It's not very smooth. Not that that's a game changer or killer or any of that kind of stuff. It's just not as smooth as some of the other people have been saying. They're like, oh my gosh, it's like glass. Okay. And I'm not knocking anybody that would say that because I'll kind of make this statement first. If someone is used to Glocks or polymer guns or, kind of just production type guns, it might feel super, super smooth to them. But when you're dealing with the higher end or even Staccato, MPA, Atlas, Infinities, things like that, that Prodigy does not even compare to the slide racking of those. Not this particular one sample that I tried. Okay. It was kind of rough. Was it like a deal breaker or something like that? No. Also, when I pulled it all the way back, I could feel the disconnector. The disconnector was trying to hang, and if you're not familiar with the disconnector on a 2011, 1911, it's at the back. It's kind of that little plunger that sticks up. So I don't know if it was dry, it needed lube, I don't know. but it was definitely, I mean, it would almost hang the slide back. Like I could have pulled it back and probably just like did that. I mean, it was just, it just felt kind of gritty and weird. The grip on the back strap meets up to the sides. The back strap, it's almost like it was kind of an afterthought, like they put it in after and didn't mold it to match the sides. So it was kind of sticking down a little farther, and it had like one corner of it was poking out. And I mean, it was like all I was doing is gripping it really hard and just doing a couple of presentations, and it was like grinding into my finger or my hand. So the first thing I would do is I would sand all that shit down and make it level. I mean, you could look at it and see that it was just poking it. It wasn't level or equal on the sides. And I'm not beating up the gun. It's freaking 1,600 bucks. Um, but I would smooth that down. The grip feels different. It doesn't feel like a staccato MPA. It just feels like it might be, I don't know if it, I don't think it's a different angle, but it kind of feels weird. It's hard to explain. Might be different when I shoot it or if I shoot it. This was one that was for sale. I was just playing around with it. Um, I think the mags might need a little work where the feed lips are on this particular one. They were kind of sharp and kind of janky. They weren't like real smooth. And I'm comparing them to like staccato mags, MPA mags, MPX mags, things like that, which are probably a little bit higher quality or maybe a little more refined. These are from Duramag. I love Duramag's AR-15 mags. They're great mags. I think this is their first shot into like a 2011 mag, and 2011 mags aren't the easiest things to make. Um, so, and I've seen a couple of hangups on some videos, so it could be due to those. And then I've seen people put staccato mags in the Prodigy, and it worked fine. So it could be a mag issue, maybe on some. I've even heard some people saying they had to open up the feed lips a little bit more on these new mags. I don't know if that's true. I haven't shot the gun. I'm just kind of giving, from just checking it in the gun store. The trigger, it's not fantastic, but if you're coming from a striker fire gun or a double action, single action gun, and you've never really shot a really nice 2011 trigger or 1911 trigger, it's not bad. But if you're comparing it to some of the other triggers, like the Atlas triggers and things like that, it is not that. Also, the reset is longer. Not that it's a bad trigger. And also, like, just say if I got a Prodigy, I would switch that trigger out pretty much immediately. For one, it's not a flat face, and it's got a lot of kind of creep and stuff in it. It's not a tuned 2011 trigger. Now you could probably take it out, you could probably smooth it, you could probably do some stuff to it and even keep the factory trigger and it would be better. If y'all don't know, on a 1911 and a 2011, you can actually tune the trigger and you can drop the poundage from the forks on the back. I think they tried to make it. It felt like, honestly, it kind of felt like about a 5-pound trigger to me. I didn't have my gauge with me, but that's what it felt like to me. But you are also dealing with an entry-level pistol. And I will also say this, the Prodigy, compared to a Rock Island, I would probably take the Prodigy. Now, granted, it's even more expensive than a lot of the Rock Islands, but the Rock Islands need a lot of work. Like this safety was nice to flip on and off. It wasn't, jagged and real sharp. Some of the Rock Islands are. And I'm not knocking Rock Island. I'm just giving you an example. But the good thing about these, they do take staccato mags. Also, they will take a 2011 trigger. They're just going to have to be fitted, which you have to do on most of them. But taking that gun, cleaning it up, polishing it, probably working the rails, polishing those, maybe put some flits in there, work it back and forth, let it kind of smooth itself. Or if you just shoot it on its own, it could work in on its own too. But I mean, the price point, you really can't beat it. And I think it's a great option to get people who were 2011 curious into 2011s, because what they'll probably do is like the 2011 platform, and then they'll get the Prodigy and maybe they'll fix it up and soup it up or do something, or they'll go to, a staccato or a MPA or something like that. maybe they'll just start getting into 2011s, or they'll just keep that as their 2011 and keep it all stock, and it's better than their striker fire, double action, single actions. So that's just the way they'll run it. So that's kind of a few, things that I noticed about it. It just needs some work, but again, I haven't shot it. So, all right, let me catch up here real quick. Glass break. Yep. You can either say glass break, or what I try to explain is like a little piece of dried spaghetti and you just kind of snip it, just, pop it in half and you get that. That's what I like to feel. Yep. That's what it's doing. So it's either dragging or it needs to be lubed, um, or it could have burrs in it. Also the machining of it, even when I pulled it back, I ran my fingers down the slide underneath on the backside, and it wasn't perfectly smooth. Like, what I would have done, or what they should have done, is taken the slide off and putting it on a flat, calibrated flat table, put some lapping compound, and then worked it, to flatten it. But I doubt they're going to go to that case. That's what I would do if I bought that gun. I would lap it on a flat table, and then I would work the inside of the slide rails. But and you could probably have someone do it if you've never done something like that. You could probably have like a 1911 guy do it. What's up, Two Gun Kitty? How are you, man? 11 Bravo Grunt. How are you? Let's see here. On the Prodigy disconnector, the humble marksman called that out. He lubed it and it addressed the hang up. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if y'all know this, but Humble Marksman and I, we talk like every day. We text back and forth and shoot the shit. I just, I know him personally, but I sent them a picture, him and Harry, and said, hey, I put my hands on it because Harry and Humble, got the Prodigies, and they really liked them. It is a little bit heavier than an all aluminum staccato. Like I said, as long as it runs, I think it's going to be a good gun. I don't know about the long haul of those mags. Just from looking at them, maybe if you work them and things like that, and really shoot them a lot, maybe they'll get a lot more smoothed in. I'm not saying it's a bad gun. I just haven't shot it. I really feel like a $1,500 a Shadow 2 Optics Ready is probably a better buy. CZ is probably better made. I would say this: the CZ Shadow 2. This is in my opinion. I think it is better made. Just looking at the quality of gun to quality of gun. However, you're dealing with a 2011. Those things are 25, 26, 25. 25 for a good one is the cheapest, but they've also gone up too. But, if you can polish it and work through it, or if you just get it and you shoot it and you really like it, but if you're used to higher end 2011s, you're probably going to pick that sucker apart. But for the price point it is, rock it, shoot it. A few people on YouTube are saying the guide rod spring isn't heavy enough. Some are switching it out for 12 to 14 pounds. Well, that is the thing. You can tune a 2011, so you can put what springs you want in it. You can put hammer springs. You could change the hammer. You could do all kinds of things to it. Also, looking at it, it definitely has a ton of MIM parts on it. So the hammer's MIM. Not that that's bad stuff. I just prefer billet or forged personally. But it is what it is. Because I have had MIM triggers in the past on a SIG 1911, and what was the other gun? No, it was only on a SIG 1911. I was shooting it, and all of a sudden it quit shooting, and I was like, what the hell? And I looked up, and the hammer was actually just, the whole hammer just kind of broke in half. It just snapped across. That was way back a long time ago, though. I mean, even before I was doing YouTube. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about the macro, and a lot of people say that you will actually shoot the macro better if you shoot it faster. If you're trying to do like target practice with it, and that's also partially due to that trigger. But I've heard a lot of people say I really like the macro more and more if I shoot it faster. So, and I like to shoot pretty fast anyway, so might work for me. I mean, it would work for a lot of other people. Yes, I did hear that also. I keep hearing noise about UPS and FedEx not allowing people to ship guns or gun parts, only FFL, or yeah, to their FFL. I did hear the same thing, so I don't know how the hell that's gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do. If they're gonna start X-raying shit and throwing stuff to the side or returning it to the, the sender. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do, but I think that's a bunch of bullshit. I've shot Bald's Bold Armory 2011. I like it. First 2011 I've ever handled. Yeah, I mean those are nice guns. I think the Bull Armory uh, is much cleaner. Um, I think it has way less rough edges and things like that. I think it would be like Prodigy, Bull, and Staccato, and then MPA if I had to pick. And I'm not saying anything's bad, but Uh, Big Johnson Guns and Gear, which 2011 do you recommend for under $2,000? I mean, I would probably say if I was going to run out and buy one and I had nothing at all vested in 2011s, I would probably get a Bull Armory. But here's the thing, here's the caveat. When you buy the Bull Armory 2011, you can only use Bull Armory magazines. That's it, they're proprietary. So, or MBX makes Bull Armory magazines also. However, you can't really take that mag and put it in another 2011 like a Staccato or an MPA or anything like that. Now, with the Staccato, MPA, and most other Infinities and all that, and Atlas, they all take 2011 mags. So that's why you have that compatibility, kind of like a Glock. You have that compatibility between all the 2011s, which you don't with Bull Armory magazines, but I'm highly vested in 2011 magazines. I don't just have two or three, I have like 30. And they're not cheap. So all 2011 magazines are all good. 2011 magazines are not cheap. And I've been ripped like, I can't believe you spend that, 70, 80, 90 bucks on a magazine. I can get Glocks for $25 or $25 for Glock magazines. Well, 2011's not a Glock. What's up, Russ Dennis? How are you, man? Hello, C6 LDEZ. Hey, Mr. Big. I just purchased my 5-inch Prodigy for $13.99. I love my MPA DS9 and Staccatos, but just had to buy one. Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are doing. I've had so many people ask me, man, you need to buy a Prodigy. You need to buy a Prodigy. And I'm not saying it's a bad gun. I haven't shot one personally. I want to shoot one and then go from there. However, I already have a bunch of 2011s. So here's the thing. If I bought a Prodigy, I'd probably shoot it. I'd probably test it. But as we all know, with the gun culture, um, this is the hottest gun out right now. Everybody wants it, so there's tons of videos on it. Well, what's it going to be next week, or what's it going to be the next week? I'm not saying the fanfare is going to completely die down, but people are going to be on to the next bigger and better and greater thing, whether it be striker fired or whatever it might be. Because I don't know if y'all know this, FN also launched their new gun with the built-in comp. Well, because of the Prodigy, nobody's even given two shits about the FN with the new comp, and it's a little bitty gun or a little bitty grip. But yeah, they just released that gun, I think, a day or two ago. So you can see some videos on it if you want. I think it's called the SS or something like that, FN 509 SS. But You know, that's the thing. The Prodigy has, and that's what I do really, really like about this launch. It's going to get a ton of people who have never, ever thought about a 2011. It's going to get them either to buy it or they're going to shoot it. They might like it, then they might buy it, and then they're probably going to go down the 2011 rabbit hole. And they might get more and more 2011s, or they might get the short and the 5-inch on the Prodigy. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing. But I'm glad that you do like it. That's awesome. So shoot it. Let us know on the next one what you think about it. I'd really love to hear it. Or if you've already shot it, let us know. Yeah, really want to shoot the Springfield. And I did the other thing. They released it with that shitty ass, and I'm just gonna say it. That hex micro dot is a piece of shit. I don't care what anybody says. I've played around with that thing in the store, and I mean, I've tracked it. It flickers. It can't keep up with like normal. God, what is the word I'm looking for? I mean, I just don't like that dot. Uh, the refresh rate. The refresh rate. That's the word I'm looking for. I mean, it's just like I can just see it. Just it can't keep up with like fast transitions. And also, like if it's well lit, it didn't. I mean, you can't really adjust shit on it. If I remember correctly, I think it's self-adjusting. I'm just not a fan of that dot at all. So some people might like it. I just don't like it at all. KO4S4 got his today. Awesome. If you've shot it, let me know what you think about it. Hey, what's up, Two Wheel and Nut? Yeah, I bet you've been super busy, man. Always good to have you here. I appreciate it, sir. Let's see here. The DWX would have changed everything for like $1,800. Damn COVID. I agree. That DWX would have been a shining star as long as they had everything locked down and it ran correctly by already taking the CZ75 mags for the short one and the P09 or P10F mags for the full size. That thing would have been a true winner. I do agree with that. I got so damn tired of waiting on that damn thing. That's when I went down the 2011 rabbit hole. And I had shot 2011s before. If y'all know way back, I had that STI 2011 and I have the STI 1911, the camouflaged one, and I love that gun. So I'm not new to 2011s, but as far as carrying them every day and stuff like that, I just see a lot of value in them because I come from 1911s. Y'all got to remember, I'm old. I was shooting guns before Glocks even came out. That's how old I am. So everybody thinks Glocks and striker fires are the latest and greatest. I was shooting revolvers and all that shit back in the day. What's up, Matt Moore? How are you, man? Bald and curious. How are you, man? Big Johnson Guns and Gear, not true. I have a SPS magazines that I used for my 40 Infinity, and they work just fine in my bull armory. Got vid coming up. Okay. Well, that's right, but that is the SPS magazines. That's not Staccato or that's not Infinity magazines, correct? Huh. Okay. Because I think Humboldt tried the Staccato mags in his bull armory and they wouldn't work. So SPS mags are different than Staccato mags, I do believe. CZ Shadow 2 says, I'm going to buy Lancer mags for my AR-15 because Big J says they're great with the metal feed lips. I just really, really like them. Because with the metal feed lips, I mean, I have yet to ever have a Lancer mag go bad. I've had multiple Hex mags go bad. And those were the first gen, supposedly. I've had the original P mags. I think they were the Gen 1s or Gen 2s. I had some of the feed lips, when you drop them with like half a loaded mag. I've had some of the feed lips crack off and things like that, but I have yet to ever, ever, ever have a Lancer mag malfunction. Now, not saying no one has. I just personally have not. Have you ever shot the SPS Pantera? I own one of those and it shoots very good. Never had a problem. I have never had an SPS Pantera, but I have shot one. A buddy of mine has one. And yes, they are nice guns. They are nice guns. I'm a dot guy though, so I definitely want optics or I'd have it milled for optics. Just tell them you're not going to buy one as you're unemployed. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Trigger Bar? How are you, man? Yeah. No, I know that. The new plates or the optional plates from agency are supposed to be out in October. But if y'all remember on the CZ, like when the Optic Ready came out with the P10F and stuff and the P10s, everybody's throwing a fit because they couldn't get plates. I think, honestly, they should have released that gun and sent you an RMR plate. I know they're trying to move their optic, and also their optic has four bosses on it for the micro, and you could run a hollow sun on it, but you have to shave the back two bosses off. And one of my buddies that bought one, he's like, man, they've got the four bosses on there, and I can't put a hollow sun on it, and I don't really like the hex mags. And I said, get a freaking Dremel and grind those suckers off. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard, but I think they should have just maybe came with an RMR plate or something. But a lot of people might want the micro on there versus the large one. I usually don't purchase a new gun. Hello, Marshall. Don't purchase a new gun in the first year of production. I wait for the manufacturer to work out the bugs and the price to come down. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. A lot of people are that way, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of like when a first year car comes out. A lot of people do the exact same thing. Matt Moore. The first pistol I bought was a Smith & Wesson SD9 VE Sigma. I remember those. It was a two-tone, and I thought it was just as good as a Glock. That trigger sucks. Only got better from here. Yeah. The SD9 VE, if y'all remember, that's the gun. Every time you buy one of those guns, you're actually paying Glock because Glock won a lawsuit due to that gun. So, because basically it was a complete knockoff from a Glock. Yeah, and I mean, the optic for $200, like if you're just going to go to the range and target practice with it and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's a horrible dot. I'm just saying if you're going to transition, if you're going to do a lot of, fast moving stuff, that's definitely not the dot you want. And I'll be honest with you, I did put it back in the box. And I'll just go ahead and share it with y'all. I haven't even done a review on it yet. This Primary Arms SLX RS10, y'all have probably seen this. Um, it when you crank it up to have it brighter, man, it blooms crazy, and you actually see like a little circuit board in there. Um, I'm not saying it's a bad dot because it's only like $200 too. I think it's like $189 or something like that. It's good, but I would not use it for a self-defense uh, dot. That's just my opinion. Not that one, because the refresh rate is not perfect on that one either, and it's got that stupid footprint, that doctored footprint that nobody gives two shits about. And I'll just tell you how I think about it, but just being honest. So I kept it on a pick rail and I was shooting it on a 22. And I mean, I was going back and forth and I was like, catch up, waiting for that dot. But, it is what it is. Yeah. And I said the same thing, Lamarcus. If CZ or if Dan Wesson ever does come out with the DWX, I will probably buy one. But I only want the full size. I don't want the compact. I want the full size. Only dot worse than the hex was the Romeo Zero. That dot bounces and loses zero even though it's locked down tight. The dot actually shifted so high I couldn't bring it down to hit the target again. Yeah, what you did is the reticle, actually, it's called a reticle separation. That's what happened to that one. I had the Romeo Zero, or I played with the Romeo Zero, and man, it was the original one, the very first one, and it was jicky as hell. Yep, the Hudson H9. You know what's funny is Daniel Defense was supposed to buy or I think they either were or did buy the Hudson patent, the HD9 patent. You can Google it and look it up. It says they bought it, but I don't know if they bought the patent or not. But I figure they would have came out with it by now. I'll tell you what, I love my staccatos, but if shit hit the fan in the country, I'm using my Glocks. I said the same thing, Russ. Everybody should have a Glock and Glock magazines. Is the DWX officially dead? I have heard that it's dead. So I talked to the CZ rep, which reps for Dan Wesson and CZ. I talked to him a while ago. CZ put up a thing that said, they're not going to do it. So they canceled it. Then I asked him, because I had a bunch of people saying, oh, it's not dead. They're still going to do it. They're still going to do it. They've just postponed it. I asked him probably like what? I don't know, 5 months ago. I asked him, and he said that it was off the table. He said, but that doesn't mean anything. If they get a wild hair, they could bring it back. He said, just as of right now, it's off the table. So who knows? Yep, Bagger Bro, I said the exact same thing. They'll probably come out with a tactical. That'll be their next line. It will be the Prodigy Tactical, and it'll have a threaded barrel. So I thought that might be kind of cool, too, to put a comp on it, try it, see what you think about it. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're going straight after Bull Armory and Staccato. That's who they're going after. And it just makes it just makes more opportunities out there and more options. Also, I stopped by Texas Gun Experience today and was talking to the guys, like I said, and they do, if anybody's local and they want a Staccato, they've got MPAs in stock, not the carries, but they've got the full-size DS9 hybrids. They did get some more in. And they've got some Staccatos. They've got 2 or 3 C2s, or I think it's 3. One is not threaded. The other 2 are threaded. They also got some P duos, threaded and non-threaded. And I think they have an XL. So they got quite a bit of Staccatos in just recently. Yep, and I thought the exact same thing, Gunner. I figured that Dan Wesson, maybe not the DWX, but they would come out with their own 2011, and I thought the same exact thing, and maybe not call it the DWX, but call it like the Dan Wesson, something. And since they acquired Colt, I honestly thought that they might even come out with like a DWX version. And what if they threw a Colt name on it? That would be pretty awesome. I think a lot of people would jump on that, like the first Colt 2011, but who knows? Let me catch back up. SPS bodies, they worked in an Infinity 100%, have old STI mag, and it sort of works. Yeah, I don't want sort of works. But, I mean, it is what it is. Big Johnson Guns and Gear, did you take advantage of TTI's Glock and 2011 Labor Day sale? Terran Tactical Innovations, no, I didn't buy anything from them. I didn't know what they had on sale, but bring your checkbook. Hello, Fina. How are you? Let's get some thumbs up. Hell yeah, get those thumbs up. Reloading says I got a Vector X Frenzy in. Very impressive. Cool. I haven't played with any of those. And I'm not trying, I'm not trying to be a snob or anything. The only thing for like target practice, maybe if you want to shoot something in USPSA, I just want more of a proven dot that I've actually proved out. Not saying you got to beat it on a fence post and throw it over a railroad track or any of that kind of shit, but I'm just saying, I want to try to have something that I'm going to carry in self-defense that, that I can't just, have the gun lay over and break. Um, I've had, I've tried a lot of those older dots, or back in the day, some of those cheaper dots and stuff like that. I don't think I have any that work. Um, even the Bushnell TRS 25s, they were actually really good for a long time. And then they went to a new version where they moved the little deal, the god dang it, what's it called, where it shoots the dot. They moved them down to the bottom, and then they all went to hell. Um, and I'm not joking. I can dig them out and show them on a video if y'all want. I think I've got like 8 of those freaking things because Amazon had a sale for like $39 or something stupid. So I bought a shitload of them to just throw on guns just to beat the piss out of them. I don't have any of them that work. I just got a pile of shit. So I just, I would rather invest a little bit, like quality gun lights, like Surefire, Streamlight, things like that, because when I need it to work, I want it to work. And yeah, if you go way, way back, I've had some Vortex Venoms take a shit. Got a Vortex Venom on my first pistol red dot. I know it's not great. I'm not totally sold on red dots on pistols yet for my shooting, mainly just indoor range. Good practice toy though. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, what's funny is when you have the Vortex guys who shoot carry optics and they don't even use Vortex on their guns. If you look at them, a lot of them don't use Vortex because they've had so many of them fail. But of course, they're shooting a shitload of rounds and stuff like that. Most people probably don't do that. The trend is need sized hammer fired metal guns with higher capacities. Yeah, and I've talked about this before. Everything was the micro guns and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with them, if that's what you like. But I think a lot of people might be going back to compacts. And of course, we are going into the cooler times, not summer carry. So some people might just be carrying uh, more compacts now. Because I've got friends who switch, between guns for seasons. So that might be what's happening. Love the gun community. Wasn't too long ago. Many were never buying in Springfield. Can you say prodigy? Yeah, I've actually said the same thing. I've seen some people talking about it, and I'm like, I remember when all that shit went down, and you were the one that was leading the parade saying you'll never buy one. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of people want what they want. And if somebody's going to offer it, they're going to grab it. TTI, yeah, I've got some of their base pads, so I already have those. I didn't know if they had something else that came out, maybe. Hello, Michael L. How are you? Emitter. Yes, that's it, Lynn. Sorry. Uh, what is your opinion on primary arms red dots? Hello, Semper Cole. I actually do really like primary arms red dots. Now, this one, like I said, it's, if you're just going to use it on a target gun, it's probably fine. I'm not sold on it on anything else. The ones that I really love from Primary Arms are their Prism Scopes. They're freaking awesome. I absolutely love them. I have 3 of them. No, I have 4 of them. 2 they sent me, 2 I bought um, because I like them so much. So, and I've looked through their higher end LPVOs, but they're like the $1,500 ones. They're actually really nice. But I like their rifle red dots. I like them a lot. And since I'm an affiliate for them, let you in a little hint. A lot of those, and I'll say it. They won't say it, but I'll say it because I tell y'all the truth. A lot of those are made in the Trigicon plant, same line. So, just so you know, that's why a lot of them take the Trigicon mounts. Super robust. I mean, the housings are bulletproof. I dropped mine. I was putting it on, and I thought I had it locked on there. And I went to move the rifle, and the thing just fell off and bounced on the floor. Didn't even put a damn scratch on it. So, you know, Never understood theory behind switching guns with seasons. A lot of people wear like, I guess if you're in a freaking area like you're in, maybe some people wear thick coats all the time. And I know some people that will appendix carry during the summer. And, sometimes, of course, when it's a little cooler, but when it gets really cold, they switch to the 3 o'clock position and they wear an outside waistband holster with their coat over it. So I don't get it either. Why carry a bigger gun in the winter? Um, because, I don't know if they're maybe longer velocity because you're shooting through coats and stuff. I don't know. I, I have gun rotations that I have guns in or had guns in. 1 week I'd carry the P10C, 1 week I'd carry the Staccato C2. Just because I like carrying different guns sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I guess people can do what they want to do. I'm all for people, you know, having 31 flavors. Oh shit, this is funny. Pistol Pete said if Springfield puts Grip Zone on the Prodigy, I will have to pick one up. Doesn't even have to run. I just love, the GZ. Yeah, the Grip Zone, man. I remember when they came out with that. That was like the big meme. Oh shit, now I know where to put my hand. I didn't know where to put my hand till you told me. Hey, how you doing, Will and Will Arm? Hey, Big Johnson, the Trigicon 1 to 6 LPVO are pretty awesome with the iBox. Yeah, I tried one of the older. I think I still have it on one of my rifles. It's the older Trigicon. Um, it had that, I don't know, it had like some fiber optic thing in it, and I mean it is nice. I'm sure their other ones are nice. It's just on the 1 to 6. I'm just gonna say it, and I am spoilt on a 1 to 6 when you have the Razor HD. It is absolutely impossible to beat. I've tried all kinds of other 1 to 6s just to see, and I just love that Razor HD. And I mean, there's other great scopes out there, don't get me wrong, but I just love the freaking Razor HD. Matter of fact, I've even had people go, oh, and this is kind of the thing just as good. Um, they're like, oh, I run the Primary Arms basic 1 to 6, and it's good enough for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you look through that, and I've got the 1 to 6 Primary Arms, and I bought it. So when you look through that, and then you look through the Razor HD 1 to 6, it doesn't even compare. It's like a diamond and a piece of shit plastic. There's a lot of difference. But yes, they will both do the same job. It's just for better identification, more clarity, uh, colors, contrast. I mean, you really pick it up with that. So I just can't say enough about the Razor HD. Who else has a gun within arm's reach of a loaded gun right now? I do. Actually, have two right here. Um, yes. So, but I know people that don't just walk around with them. They'll put them in their little safe or something while they're walking around the house. But I look at it, you don't ever know what could pop off. And I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be running up to my door and kicking it in, but shit, I guess you never know. Matt Moore, we got a lot bigger temperature swings than you have in Texas. Plus, you got dry heat. We're really not dry heat; it's more humid heat. Phoenix has dry heat. I mean, sometimes we'll just have heat, but when the humidity's up, it's nasty. Yeah, I agree with Lenz. The question is, should be who doesn't have one within arm's length. Yeah, look at that. Matt Moore just, man, he just spoke for me. Or he was maybe saying the same damn thing. Uh, yeah. And, man, I was digging through one of my boxes the other day. I forgot I had these. Is anybody a pen connoisseur? I know that's a dumb thing. I'm a watch freak. I've got tons of watches. Uh, I love watches. So I've got cheap ones, expensive ones, and all that stuff. But does anybody play with pins or have a thing with pins? You know, I'm not. I mean, I know you get the little cheap pins, but does anybody a connoisseur of pins, like really nice pins? Does anyone have a fire extinguisher within arm's reach? That's a good thing. I don't have a fire extinguisher in here. I've got one in the kitchen or two in the kitchen actually. But yeah, that's actually a good thing. But we could all shoot our way out of the fire if we had to, right? Da, 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 da. Brian, try Louisiana. That's nasty. I know what you're talking about. I've been to South Carolina, and it is very humid there. Louisiana, holy crap, that's crazy. What's your opinion on building an AR-15 chambered in 223 for shooting 200 to 300 yards? It would just be for planking. Um, I mean, hell, why not? It depends on if it's just going to be for planking. You know, I mean, you might want a heavier bolt gun, but I guess you could use it. You know, I mean, I think that everybody should have an AR-15. Okay, at least a 16-inch. Um, but yeah, I mean, hell, 223s are fun. They're easy to shoot. I mean, okay, K04S4. Yes, pins and watches. Okay, we're on the same page. Um, Gunner, I love fountain pens. I like fountain pens too. Let's see here. I have a collection of Saint Dupont and Mont Blanc. All right, then, here you go. People might like this then. All right, here's a fatty Mont Blanc, and it's the real deal. This is the big, big boy. It's the Mont Blanc. I don't know if a lot of people can see this. It's the Mont Blanc Special Edition. Yeah, it's not really coming in the camera. Yeah, hell, it won't come in. Anyway, it's got the 14 karat gold tip on it. You can see it right there. And it's the etched. So that's a really cool one. And that's the big, big boy. That's the big old fatty. And here's another one. I forgot I even had these. I've got some other ones, but. And then here is its little brother. This is the other Mont Blanc. And this is the skinnier version of that one. And this one does not have the gold tip, I believe. No, it doesn't have the gold tip. It's got the gold top. And it's etched on there too. But yeah, I love, and these are the ones that you can, suck them up in the little plungers, or you can put the cartridges in them. Cartridges aren't cheap though. But anyway, I found those in a drawer and I was like, shit, I forgot I even had those two. And then what's funny, for my everyday pens, I've had a lot of people ask me about, or not a lot of people, but I had some people, I showed some pens before. My favorite, like cheap pens that I can just, because I won't lend those out to customers to sign contracts. I always use the cheap ass ones because they steal them. But my other ones are the Pilot G2. These little Pilot gel pens. I think this one's take a shit. But the little Pilot gel pens, these are my favorite cheap pens. I buy them like by the boxes. I've got like big old boxes. There's one of the box right there. But I've got boxes of these damn things. But those things write so freaking good. Yep, Richard's in the Louisiana swamp. Oh, got the Protect. Yeah, I have a Peugeot, Rolex, and now Patek. Yeah, I don't have. I have Rolex, but I have two Rolexes, but I don't have any of the other ones. But what's funny on me, my hands are so big, my Rolexes look like freaking kids' watches because I grew into where I started liking the bigger watches. So my wife wears the other two. Yeah, I think you should always have a smoke detector in your garage. I mean, especially in mine. Would you carry a 1911? Yeah, I have 1911s. I carry them. I carried them for shit 15 or so years of my life. Had a Les Bear, had a Ed Brown. Um, what other one did I have? Those were the super high end ones. A Les Bear Custom, an Ed Brown Specialist, I think is what it was. And I sold both of those back in the day when I decided I wasn't going to carry them anymore. I sold both of those to a doctor. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. You go to Harry Hines, there's all kinds of shop that sells shady shit there. There's all kinds of knockoffs. And if it's popular, that's what I was telling a buddy of mine tonight. I was like, if something's popular, they will knock them off in a heartbeat. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, look at the Kraken, the Swamp Fox. That's a direct, and just so y'all know, that's a direct competitor, or that's pretty much a knockoff of the Aimpoint P2. And y'all heard it first from me. Supposedly, Swamp Fox is about to get sued from Aimpoint over that Kraken. Just so you know. So anybody that has one might have a collector's item. Because if you remember, Trigicon sued HoloSun because HoloSun used the big buttons like Trigicon has on their RMRs. And so they had to change them and put the little buttons on. So they sued them and won. So Aimpoint should win that deal too. Oh, they use heat sensors for garages. Okay. Yeah, Lamarcus, that's what I'm saying. That's why, I mean, it's really dumb, but that's why I don't carry it. Plus, this thing's freaking huge, the big one. Um, I've got some Mont Blanc rollers, and I do carry them, but I'm telling you, I keep a close eye on those things, and I make sure the clips are good because I've lost a Mont Blanc before. Don't want to do that again. That pen is too small for your hands. Yeah, that's why I got this big bad boy. This one actually feels really good because it's definitely a big one. But the fountain pens are cool, but if you ever have one leak, I haven't had a Mont Blanc leak, but I had another one leak and it wasn't fun. I got shit everywhere. Aren't those the pens that presidents have it like lifesavers when they spend our money? Those aren't, they don't pass out Mont Blancs. They're just kind of a knockoff of Mont Blancs, but I have seen those before. Big J, I got the perfect job for you. You should do the big Tex voice. Howdy, folks, and welcome to Texas State Fair. You're not the first to tell me that. We could do, howdy, folks. This is Big Tex. Welcome to the Texas State Fair. Yeah, I could do it. I'm in. Two wheeling nut. I agree with you. When I was younger, my penmanship was actually pretty good. Now it sucks. I write like a doctor. Hey, what's up, Floridian? How are you, man? He is in Kerrville. I know where that is. Kerrville, Texas. He's not my uncle. Yeah, you know what's funny? I was thinking about that the other day. I was trying to think of the last actual check, the check I wrote. My wife writes, them to the lawn guy, but I was trying to think of the last check I actually wrote, and I can't think of the last time I wrote a damn check. They just, I guess, don't have any reason for them anymore with most of the stuff, with all this online stuff. Wishbone, how are you, Larry Eck? What's your thoughts on the CZ457, Tika, T1X, and Bagara B14 to drop into an XLR aluminum chassis, leaning towards the TL1X, and later drop a 3X 65 Creedmoor? Penny for your thoughts. The Bagara is nice. It's a very nice rifle. The Tika is a nice rifle, but man, that CZ, the 457s are super, super nice. I have shot, I've played with a Bagara. I haven't shot a Bagara. I have shot a 457 and I have shot a Tika. I mean, they're great rifles, and all of them would be great in an aluminum chassis. So it really comes down to which one you like. I guess I don't know if you have the opportunity to shoot a lot of those, but I mean, they're all great rifles. I know Bergara has that, MOA warranty and all that stuff, so I don't think could go wrong with it. I think it comes down to what type of magazines you want to use, because the Bergara uses the bigger magazines. The CZ75 uses the little small metal magazines. I think the Tikka uses the small ones too, if I remember right. Let's see here. Big J, do you have or have you shot a CZ TS2? Is it a big improvement over the original Tactical Sport? I have played with them. The frame's different, things like that. I mean, I already have the Tactical Sport Orange, so I personally don't see any reason to buy it. If you're not vested in either of them, I think the TS2 would be a good option, but it's really up to you. So, good night, Lamarcus. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Matt. I guess some people do. But yeah, it is 8 o'clock. I want Chris to be able to have his chat, but don't want to impede on that. But I appreciate all of y'all. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that after the chat, feel free to leave them and I will answer them. But I appreciate all the family tuning in tonight. It's always a great time. And if y'all can think of any questions that y'all maybe want to ask on the next chat, if you want to leave them after this chat, I can go back to it, check them before we do the next one, and, try to get those answered up for you. But I appreciate y'all so much. Have a great night. Remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. And what I mean by that is carry a gun on you at all times. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care.